I get nervous every time and it makes no sense. Hello and welcome everyone to the Initiative Order, and welcome to the next installment of Far Realms, our KULT Divinity Lost Homebrew campaign, where I, your keeper, lead you and a group of lost souls beyond the veil into fractured realities. But before we start setting the mood, introducing our beautiful players, and getting ready to pierce that veil, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors here at the Initiative Order. First up is Session Zero Clothing. They have D&D inspired streetwear, an amazingly sick selection which is back in stock, and you can use code ORDER at checkout for 15% off in their store. We have Norse Foundry. They are artists and dice makers. Super, super awesome wood dice, metal dice, all of the things. You can use code TIO15 at checkout for 15% off in their shop. We have Roaming Player Gear. They have amazing tabletop gaming supplies by our very own GotDM. You can use code Carnaby20 to get 20% off of their dice, tower, and tray combo set. We also have Mithril Armory. They are creators of insane tabletop tiles and gaming accessories, and of course the 10-20 foldable D20 puzzles that kick my happy bohiney, but maybe you'll have better luck with them. You can enter in code initiative at their shop for 10% off. And as always, if you like what we do, or if you take pity on my poor players for the horrors they're going through, you can donate directly to us through our Ko-fi and show your appreciation for our time and horror. Of course, also all subs, bits, and other things go to support TIO and everything that we do here, and all of our causes that we rally behind. So let's go ahead and start introducing our beautiful, beautiful players. If you will introduce yourself and your character and where they're at mentally right now. Ronan.
I'm Ronan Fox. That's it. I'm playing Fox because I'm super original and in love with myself. And we're dope. We're all good. We are. We just died, of course, and multiple times, and we are looking forward to ending this, whatever this is, and getting at least one answer out of all of it. Just one is all I need.
You'll get answers. Sure. Jay.
Oh, hey. What can I say? It's Jay. Casual. You can find me on all social media at Just2Casual, as well as on Twitch, Casual Creativity, doing all kinds of world building, game design, and writing my own stories, weaving tales best I can. And you can see all that journey on anime-inspired Deep Breath at deepbreathrpg.com. I am Tyson James Everett, the wandering lost soul who's been through too many chapters and losing sanity at each pace, but somehow is becoming more composed. But I think as you go through the realms, that's not necessarily a good thing.
Nope, it attracts attention. Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel Beauregard. I am an actor and an artist, general pain in the ass. You can find my personal Instagram at ManaPixieTankGirl, and you can find my design page, Bad Duck Design, for things geeky and gay. I'm playing Alice, who is like pretty composed, but trying to turn every situation to her advantage. And I guess we're getting towards the end, and we'll see what her true motivations may or may not be.
Dun dun dun. And I am Taryn Hackett, your keeper, also known as Val Rook across the socials, generally creative human, TTRPG performer, and dice maker under the moniker of Umbral Oculus Dice. That is UO_dice on the Instagram. You can enter in code initiative at checkout in my shop, which I do have dice in stock right now, for 10% off there. You might want to keep an eye on my Instagram, though, because starting tomorrow, all dice sets in my shop will be like $15 off, because I'm calling it the I just moved and I want to make new dice and I don't have room to make new dice sale. So you'll want to do that. And I will also be sponsoring a giveaway of a 2D20. So be keeping your eyes out for, free dice too. So that's a thing. Okay. And of course, right before we start setting the mood, just a quick heads up. This is a horror game. We have elements that are common in extreme horror, like any horror setting, any horror genre, movies, TV shows, etc. We do have elements of mental health and other issues. So if at any point you need to take a step back, please feel free to do so. My players and myself have an understanding and have consented to participate in a game of this level with this content. But with that, your perception is broken. Your reality is a lie. Your vision is clear. Let's take a step back through the veil and see what awaits just on the other side. Okay. So, last episode, it was a repeat of the day. But this time, Alice did her best to kind of skirt their way through not being as aware. Or at least not letting others know how aware she was of what was going on. Tyson tried to outsmart the day, it seemed, rushing out the door. Fox had a similar idea, but almost caught the girl in the black hoodie. However, she still managed to get away, as Fox and Tyson kind of had somewhat of a run-in with the police officers who were coming to check on the fire. it seemed that the police officers were a lot less invested on what was going on and really just kind of seemed to be there and really didn't have any concern with what was going on, but did have concern with where the girl in the hoodie went. Needless to say, you lost sight of the girl. Alice took a car ride with someone all too familiar to Tyson and moderately familiar to Fox. He's a bit of a fan, but they spoke of agreements, kind of bartered, seemingly for something. Offer of an exchange of power. However, eventually you all did manage, one way or another, to make it to the warehouse. Tyson and Fox, pretty unaware of the conversation that had just gone down. You went into the warehouse, tried to make your way down. Fox was attacked. And rather than staying to assist Fox, Tyson and Alice, with the promise of an intimate meeting with a fan, abandoned Fox to be slowly devoured, kind of cleaned up by a kitty. Tyson and Alice, of course, did eventually run into Silas in the subway. However, as they tried to interact with Silas, Silas was not excited that Alice had company, and some tall older gentleman in a cloak approached from behind and stabbed Tyson, restarting the day. The day restarts and you try to outsmart it yet again. This time, Fox is infuriated, having been abandoned. The cat shows up yet again, but this time, as Fox does not go about his usual route, the cat accompanies Fox, non-aggressively, makes his way around back into the apartment. Tyson and Alice do the same. As you make your way into the apartment this time, however, the kitchen area is covered in viscera. The floors are sticky. There's a smell of rot and iron. You can hear screaming coming from the top of the building. Eventually, you all make your way up the stairwell, Fox arriving first, opening the door to find a horrific scene of Alice being tormented by two demonic eldritch looking creatures, though seemingly enjoying this torture. As Fox is pushed back through the door is barred just in time for Tyson and Alice to arrive. Confused, Fox doesn't even know where to begin. Alice somewhat explains that it's someone fucking with her, as you are somewhat lured into Fox's studio apartment by a familiar song to Tyson. You all approach the apartment and enter in, for the door to, of course, as usual in Far Realms, slam behind you. Tyson, as you look in the corner, there is a cold chill that runs up your spine. And you look and you see Eleonora standing in the corner, pointing out the window. As you peer out this window, the sky is clouded over. There is a rumbling of thunder. The clouds are a dark red. The buildings around you are decrepit. There is blood dripping down part of the windowsill. But with that, as you all three see this, I need each of you to keep it together.
That is a 15 for Tyson.
12.
Okay.
Uh, 9.
9. Okay. So, Fox, as you look out this window and you begin to see this horrific vision of the outside reality, what emotions stir in you? How does this affect Fox?
If it would have been before the scene on the roof,
Yeah.
probably a lot different than it is right now. So it's more of I don't even I guess sort of an obsession, I guess, to he just needs to know now. Like he needs to, like, he needs, if he understands it, then it will be less intense in his head. So now he needs to understand it. So that's my I become more obsessed with knowing what the root cause of all this stuff is.
Okay. So with that, you are obsessed
Fair.
now with knowing. This is something that every opportunity you will pry. You will constantly need to know more. With that, you need to go ahead and add a +1 relation. Just take note of that. And I will let you know when that becomes relevant.
Okie dokie.
Alice, as you look out this window, having heard the description of what was on the roof, having had that conversation, as you look outside, as you are aware, how does this affect Alice?
Probably feeling more and more desperate, like running out of time, but still not knowing exactly what I need to do.
So in this moment, Alice, you find yourself staring out and seeing fate. You see the consequences of what happens if you don't. With that, you are going to lose 2 stability.
That's fair.
But it's just rattled you. It's something that you've done a really good job of ignoring, but it's hard to ignore when it's in your face. But with that, Tyson, Alice, and Fox, you see this, 2 of you see this ephemeral figure. What is like this beautiful porcelain face, flowing Victorian garments, eerily elongated arm and fingers pointing out that window as the hands come back down to the waist. The figure turns back to Tyson and to all of you. Her head looks down and back up, and as she looks back up, there is blood pouring from the hollow, dark circles that were once her eyes. As she retreats back into the wall and disappears. And you are left in this apartment. Fox, this is your apartment. Would you like to describe to Tyson and Alice what they see in your apartment. Because the inside of your apartment, albeit the window and outside look hellish, inside your apartment, it looks as is.
Yeah, it's very clean, very well kept, and it's got, if we're in like the sort of open living area, there would be a sort of large, oversized leather couch, big ottoman in the middle, little sidebar, and then there's a big fireplace mantle, and then above that is me riding a unicorn, accepting some sort of honor from whoever the current president is, and I'm smiling, and it's very off-putting given the outside circumstances.
Good to know. So Tyson,
lots of crystal too everywhere, chandeliers, and
yeah. Tyson, having seen Eleanor retreat, having looked outside, while you do manage to keep it together, how is Tyson affected in this moment?
Calmly. Almost a sense of serenity comes over. Although Tyson has been seemingly scattered and distorted and almost that stereotypical paranoid conspiracy theorist pulling the red yarn across the wall. There's composure and almost an undertone of joy in his expression. He feels validated and also has come to like a sense of understanding. He feels like wherever he's at, this is home for the time being. Comfortable.
Okay. So you all see the unicorn painting, the crystals. It smells really clean in here. No smoke. But you're free to roam the apartment. The record player is in the kitchen on the bar top, just angled perfectly so that if you were to, I don't know, have guests over, they could hear it in both the living area and the kitchen. So you know it's around the corner, Fox.
Do you want to go check it out? Because I know that I don't have that record.
No. As you round the like archway and look over, the record player is still spinning. And there is just a small pool of blood on the turntable. No record is present.
Just slowly
Take the needle. Stops turning. As this happens, a moth flies out from behind through one of the vents above it and just whizzes past you. As it whizzes past, there's a droplet of blood that falls from the moth and like hits your cheek.
I want to turn to see Onyx's reaction to all this. Is he here?
Yep, it is like sunbathing in the window.
Fair.
Like
Still
the
cat.
tail is twitching, just hanging out in the window, purring.
So I'm going to look in the vent. That's where the moth came from, sort of out of the vent.
Yes.
And I have an obsession with knowing stuff, so I'm going to crack open the vent now.
A hand falls out. As this hand falls out, the palm begins to wriggle.
I grab the nearest kitchen utensil and hit it.
As you hit it, there's like a crunching sound, not of bone, but of exoskeleton. As crumpled moths begin trying to writhe out of the arteries and the tendons of this hand, as you see one of the fingers begin to twitch as it bursts open, and they begin to pile out.
Okay.
And with that, of course,
Yeah.
please roll.
I better be getting my deposit back. 8. Oh, that's awesome. 20. 18 on the dice.
You've seen this before. At this point, that was you. You managed to keep your cool. So what does Fox do?
So now that I know that that's not like a threat to me anymore, I do want to kind of go back just to kind of peek in. Like, what kind of vent is it? Is it like I'm literally picturing like an industrial duct, but I know that that's probably not correct.
It's like a
is
smaller,
it just like a okay.
little rectangle small vent, you know?
Okay.
It's like, it's definitely an intake vent, so it's
okay.
going to something, yeah.
Okay, so okay, so that's weird. I will turn to them. I'm not like a serial killer, so I don't know what our next. There's a hand here that's not. Anyway, what's our play here? What are we doing?
Tyson's just looking out the window, just taking in the sights.
You see people walking down the streets as normal. As they're walking down the street and you're looking down, you see these pale-skinned, elongated creatures that a one Jack Graves once saw for sure. Walking, some of them seemingly following individual people. But people walking is normal. There's a crack of thunder. Kind of briefly brightens up the otherwise pretty dark sky. You can see a distance, get a little bit more of the skyline. There's something really big in the distance, but you can't quite make it out. It's too cloudy, clouds are too low, and it's too far away.
However, I know it's something big in the distance. Even though I can't tell detail, could I determine whether or not this is like a building style large or like landscape, like mountains large?
It's landscape, mountains, huge, large.
So yeah.
It is Titanic.
The city might have been beautiful in some capacity once upon a time. But now things linger, following, feeding. And Tyson turns to face everyone else. I don't know who's feeding or what they're feeding on. But they keep wanting us to play. Maybe not sticking to their rules would be the best.
I mean, that's what I literally said in the very beginning, just so we're clear.
They want order.
So we figure out what they want and we do the opposite?
It's one way to go about it. It's just I can't make sense of what it's feeding on.
I mean, it's not. I don't feel like it's us, right? I mean, I died and came back. So what's the point of that? Well, unless it is just us, and then they can't let us actually die. They need to keep us alive. So
It's never just us. We're just focused on. Things are being followed.
Or what if we're like the only ones that know? Like maybe we're not their focus. Maybe we're a nuisance now that they have to deal with because we know, whereas the people that are being followed don't know.
It's because we're aware.
Right. But I still don't understand what the point of like having a hand fall out of my vent is.
Your fridge door swings open.
I take a jump step back because I'm still in the kitchen.
Viscera. Your gallon of milk that you were drinking from earlier, curdled. Your carton of eggs is open. And they're busted. And there are things wriggling out of them.
Gross.
The pickle jar. Eyes in there.
I think the point is they don't want us to stay here.
Yeah, right.
As you look back, normal fridge.
Or they just want us to make us feel like we're going crazy. I mean, I was literally dead hours ago, and now I'm staring at eyeballs in my fridge. If that doesn't scream crazy, I don't know what does.
Who knows? And Dyson's gonna pull out his notebook and trying to just skim through pages, not looking for anything particular, just hoping something stands out.
Roll 2d10. Let's see.
That's 12.
Okay. Go ahead and add your reason. Let's do that.
That's 11.
Okay. In this situation, I will allow you to ask me one specific question.
Ooh. Oh no. Tyson's smarter than me right now. I think the thing Tyson's trying to understand most is the agenda. This is the reasoning. Each location has had an agenda, not the destination Tyson's figured out, but he knows. The mansion was following the procedure of the funeral. The asylum was trying to get us through the therapy of getting better. Tyson's trying to see what the agenda is based off all the things he's observed.
You look through everything that you have for your current situation. It seems like there's something happening. For one reason or another, this is an important instance in time. You haven't quite encountered enough to fully grasp, but there's an important occurrence happening in this instance. Something is supposed to happen that is not, or is being interrupted. Or it is your success that keeps you repeating. You're not sure. At this point, the only common element you can find is suffering.
To just go for clarity, is Tyson able to presume, in most circumstances, each time the realm started to fall apart, it was because whoever was in charge was getting frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
The mansion started having more circumstances get weird. The asylum had Nora being a little more aggressive. Is Tyson getting the feeling that whatever is supposed to happen is causing frustration?
You get the feeling that whatever y'all are doing is definitely frustrating something.
Okay.
Because the consequences are growing worse. It feels like as you're looking around, you're seeing more things as they truly are. The veil continues to shatter around you.
This doesn't make sense, but we're not where we're expected to be at, or where we're wanted. You are all seeing it now. What I've been seeing for weeks, months. I've been seeing through it all for longer than I can recall. But if you are able to see it consistently, the veil tearing, whatever should happen or should have happened is urging for it to happen. And I think it's not something specifically to do with us, but we happen to be the ones either interfering or capable of doing it. It's not about us. We just happen to be in the middle.
Okay. So let's, for lack of a better term, rewind. Where were we, if we couldn't see anything, where were we supposed to go after the building caught on fire?
Alice, your phone goes off.
Great.
Silas, really could use a post from you today. It's been a long one. Another message. You were supposed to meet me, but you never showed up. Another message. And then you showed up with a friend. Another message. That's not how that was supposed to work. Another message. You keep fucking this up.
Pretty busy over there.
What can I say? I'm popular. I'm just gonna text back. Just can't talk right now. I'll text you later.
Message. You're just hanging out in an apartment. What makes you so busy? Are you with them too?
That's alarming. What floor are we on?
The top floor.
Penthouse.
Are there other buildings that are as high?
Not in this area. Yes, Fox.
Well, assuming knowing Alice is not sharing any of that conversation.
You do notice, both of you would notice kind of a look of surprise on Alice's face.
Tyson has learned to ignore Alice's reaction because Alice does not divulge information. So Tyson's like, got it. Fox.
You could ask me.
Fox, what were you supposed to do today? The alarm didn't go off. What were you supposed to be doing?
Nothing. Nothing. I'm currently in between.
I'm a writer.
Yeah. Shut up. I'm currently in between inspirations, we'll say. So I typically would just go get a coffee and kind of, ramble through the park for a bit. Spend the evening here.
Okay, so your time would have been at the coffee shop, which didn't pan out, and
Correct.
time here where things are falling apart. So, Alice, did you have anything you were planned, scheduled to do today?
Same old shit.
But like anything, even if it's not specific, what were you going to do if the alarm didn't go off, if we didn't have to deal with the fire?
Get high, maybe go grab a Red Bull, come home, shoot some video, watch TV, just same stuff I do every fucking day.
Another message. Did you look?
Yes.
So now you're ignoring me. Another message. What did I ever do to you? Another message. I've been your loyal fan. Another message. You're really starting to piss me off.
Can you turn the thing on silent or something? I can't think.
It would be on silent. It would be on vibrate for sure.
Okay, good.
I'm not that person. I'm gonna turn the phone off. And do you have like beer or something? Can I get a fucking drink?
Your phone goes
martini?
off audibly. And this one just says, it hasn't occurred to you yet. Has it? The message goes off again. I found this phone somewhere. Another message. You should come play.
I don't have time for a martini. Can you pour me a shot of something? Make it a double. I'm gonna go over to the window and open it and throw my phone at the window.
As Tyson thinks, Tyson takes pictures for people. That's the thing. Like, goes places, gets paid. Did I have anything scheduled for today?
It was another day of going out, taking pictures, snooping, but there wasn't anything special for you today.
So I would have stayed home because I didn't have anything.
So what? They picked on us because we're the most boring people on earth?
It's not that we're boring. We would have stayed here.
We would have died.
I mean, most of my work would have been here, yeah.
So the building would have been engulfed. We would have stayed. And died too?
Screaming down the hallway.
Shit. I'm gonna go check it out.
Fox, you run to the door and you open that door. Down the hallway, you see a tall, lean figure engulfed in flames, screeching, grabbing the walls. As it's grabbing the walls are going up in flames. It comes barreling down the hall, screaming at you, reaching out its hands. And just as it hits the door, your eyes meet. Those are your eyes, Fox. And as it hits and you lock eyes, it disappears in a pile of embers in front of you, smokes, and then disappears. Please roll to see the
Do
level
we
of
passively at least see the fire?
Oh
thing coming?
yeah, no, you see the thing.
Okay.
You do not. It doesn't. I mean, obviously, you're not staring into your eyes, so you don't make the connection. You just see Bernie Torchy guy come running. What was it?
You can mute it.
Sorry, yeah, I was talking to myself anyway. Keep it together is a 2. That's a 4.
A 4.
That's
I had to make sure that other one was also a 1. It was.
You see this after everything. The most important thing in the world to you goes up in front of you. You're in danger, Fox. Everything you are is in danger, Fox. You panic. Slam the door in front of you. As it all begins to hit you, there is danger here. You might die for good. You might suffer worse. -4 stability. As you are obsessed with finding this out, but you are obsessed with protecting yourself.
Okay, we gotta we have to get out of here.
No, I don't think we do. Whatever
Okay.
happens is here. The fire gets us out.
Right, but I thought we just said that we were gonna do what it didn't want us to do, and what it wanted us to do was stay here and die.
But it gives us an alarm before the fire happens, and then we're out, and then the fire starts.
Right.
We leave before the fire even actually happens. The problem is is that hooded figure the pre-warning or the igniter? Are they doing that to save us? Or are they the reason we perish?
Right. So what if the fire is not the thing that happens, like, to the building, right? Like, what if it's something else? What if the fire is the distraction?
Like we were supposed to stay and somebody interfered and pulled the alarm to save us?
Right.
I mean, it's possible. God damn it, Eleanor was here and gave no help.
What?
My ghost friend.
Oh, you knew her?
Yeah, we go way back, or depending on which reality this is, we go way back.
I'm gonna walk myself over to whatever bar is probably obviously exists in this room and start pouring myself my drink because this is a lot.
It's the worst selection.
What the fuck? This is all it is Jägermeister, like 4 bottles.
And then
Listen,
like bitch beer.
That's all I got. I don't drink actually. It's really sorry.
I'll just like take a swig of Jägermeister right from the bottle.
It's all for looks.
Yeah, it's everything in here is aesthetics. Have you ever seen the episode of Friends where Joey buys all that and the trinkets and stuff? That's just my house.
As you put the bottle down, a red liquid is pouring over the side of that bottle.
Is it blood?
You look at the bottles. It's coagulated. As you look away and look back, normal.
I'm trying to like manifest that the alcohol is gonna like actually.
Oh, it starts to, you feel it. It starts to kind of work. You do hear a plow as Onyx is walking through the apartment, rubbing on things, doing the little kitty marking thing.
We die here.
Plow.
Somehow or another.
Go pick him up.
And then if we do die here, that's what's supposed to happen.
Plow. As this cat is looking at you very knowingly.
But somebody pulls the alarm and we leave, which means we don't die here like we're supposed to.
I just looked down at Onyx. Are we supposed to die here?
Starts purring.
But I think also if we die here, we might die for real.
Purring gets louder.
So should we go?
And the reason we're not dead is the girl with the hood on.
Because she pulls the alarm or something, does something that makes us have to evacuate the building.
And then we see what's really going on here.
And because of that, we have to still be killed so we can start it over, so we can die like we're supposed to.
Which is why we keep repeating.
So someone not only wants us dead, we have to die here.
Right, because I've already died.
Well,
Sure.
I died last time, and it reset.
Right, but what I'm saying is none of us died here.
No,
So if we're supposed to die here, and that's what all they're trying to do, then why are we still here?
yeah, I think we should go. No, that actually,
There's a knocking at the door.
Do I have a back door?
Fire escape.
There's a fire escape. You just hear that knocking, and your phone, Alice, slides under the apartment door.
I hate it.
Notification after notification after notification after notification. Do you grab your phone, or do you all
Yes,
look
I go.
towards the...
I'm gonna quickly grab it.
It's like all curse words. And then the last one simply says, "Nice try. You can't hide from us that easily."
Yeah, we should go. Let's go now.
The banging on the door intensifies, and there is a peephole.
That's exactly what I was about to ask.
Fox, you look through that hole. There is a milky white, red iris eye twitching
Ew,
right
ew.
on the other side, looking. And as it like backs away slightly, you begin to see this distorted jaw running up the side, rows of sharpened broken teeth, and a tongue hanging out the side. Pale, slick flesh, almost translucent to where you can see the pulsating veins underneath, revealing this slightly elongated humanoid skull with no nose, just a gaping chasm fogging up the peephole glass. As it kind of draws back a bit, you see this weird bony spine hunched over, elongated arms, and this tongue dragging the ground coated in blood.
I love that description. I did not stay there nearly long enough for that. I got
Okay, if you did not witness all of those things and you booked it,
he saw the eye.
I saw the eye, and then probably when he started to, well, I got it. Yeah, because as soon as he's backed away, I probably got that instantaneously.
roll
God
the
damn it.
Yeah, Tyson's already like at the fire
To the
escape.
fire.
I was gonna say we're getting ready to go.
Much better than last time. 14.
14. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Actually, yeah. I mean, you're definitely scared. You're
Correct.
yeah. Just, you know what? You're fine for now.
All right, so I'm going to turn around. I'm gonna, if I have enough, do I have enough composure to know to lock the door?
Act under pressure.
I am actually quite cool. Nope, not cool. Maybe 10.
And you stumble as you're going to lock this door, and you do manage to lock it.
And then
As
I'm
the
gonna turn.
hand bursts through the door just past your face, and you see elongated fingers, nails, some of them curled up and under, some cracked off. You can see this slick, slimy looking flesh as you then turn to run away.
I'm gonna grab Onyx and run.
Okay. You're all at the fire escape. So Tyson, you and Alice are at the fire escape. You managed to throw it up, and you guys are already out as Fox is hitting and making your way down. Go ahead and let's just do me a favor just to generally see how this goes. Just each of you roll 2d10. Let's just see for fun. Actually, this is an act under pressure. Like, definitely. You're
Act under pressure.
Yeah, y'all
17.
are being tailed.
Act
Okay.
under pressure is
Coolness.
Coolness.
You guys are
Damn.
being tailed by something.
Oh wait, that's 15.
Okay.
15.
Good job. So you're all so focused on getting out of there. Alice, while you did not see what was coming after you, the text messages were enough. Tyson, you're not ready to die. Not here, not like this. Fox, you are getting the fuck out of there. The cat is like clung to your chest. You almost don't have to hold Onyx as you run. You all begin to make your way quickly down the fire escape. But you do notice as you are outside running down this fire escape, it's slick from rain. The sky is gray. It's beginning to sleet a little bit. Snow's starting to fall. People are making their way down the street. Normal day.
That's after we kind of make our way down.
Yeah, as soon as like y'all hit the outside and you make it past like the first rung, it starts to just be normal day.
Tyson would like to check. I like to check my phone, see what time it is, particularly to see how far we made it past when we died before.
It is currently, let's see, this because it's morning. Let's say it's 11:12.
And roughly around what time did I die last time? After we did the coffee shop, we did the warehouse.
That was actually at about 12:15.
And I think that's the longest we survived.
Yes. The day previously was probably about, like 11 o'clock.
Yeah, we speed.
12.
Yeah, we were rushing to our death in that one.
Yeah.
12:15 was when you had walked in and everybody was already dead and all the things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you think that there's a time by which we break this sort of thing? Like we go so long and
so
it loses the game?
Everything was dead in the subway last time when the cops showed up. That was the longest we made it. Based on the clock that was in the subways, the latest time we made 12:15. Then there was the time that we got there sooner. We ran into Silas. And that's when as Tyson kind of like feels abdomen, when I died. That couldn't have been anywhere near 12, maybe barely half past 11.
Which meant I died at like 10:30.
So the building is supposed to have burned shortly after we left. I don't know. I feel like if we can make it to a certain point, we can get more answers. But I don't know what that point is.
Should we try to find the girl?
We have nothing to go on.
I mean, I know she was taken by a van to... Well, we don't know for sure, but it was marked something industries.
The future industries?
New World Industries.
Good shot.
New World. Yep. New World Industries.
Which you all do know who well, Fox, you and Alice both know who runs that. Tyson, not so much. You don't have the name associated with it yet.
Okay. So the girl, she comes in, prevents us from dying. We become aware fully, or the awareness kicks in, and now we're stuck in the loop. Last time we got a whole sight of her, she got taken. She was running, which means she's stuck like us, or something like that.
At least she's at least aware.
But she's aware enough to know that the building at least, and I don't know if you chose us specifically or just so happened to know the building was going to burn and set us free, and because we're not part of the loop, or the path, the loop started, and now we are the apex point.
Yeah, I don't think she has much love for us because she ran dead sprint away from me when I tried to catch her before.
Because she's not supposed to do that. She knows. What if she knows we're supposed to die and she prevents it? Now,
she also may not know that we're awakened, so she may not want to explain all that.
We're in a loop. On the roof, you saw the scene.
I described it. I'm not going to talk about it again.
You saw the burning person. Did you recognize them?
Yes.
Cold sweat.
Anyone from any of the floors you recognize? Tyson goes to notebook. I have all the names of all the people and rough descriptions.
It was me. It was me.
The man on fire was you?
Yes.
One person gets ritualized on the roof. Another person burns. Is that how we're supposed to die? That's what's supposed to happen.
Do you think it was luck of the draw that we didn't see your death, or were you not supposed to die as intended in there?
I mean, I was supposed to be out and take pictures, so I don't know if I was going to even be home for that. But if we haven't seen my death.
I mean, I just think it's weird that you're the only one that, out of the three of us, that would have done this all before.
I've also been the one that's been caught twice and died.
Fair. You're either really good at this or really bad. I haven't decided yet.
I don't know, just talking about previous times. The cops, when they showed up, they caught us. But when you were again, I'm sorry about that. When we left you in the maintenance hatch area.
I met Onyx. It's okay.
Well, you were bleeding out. We were running out of time, but as soon as we made it to the subway, we get attacked and everything loops.
So you think we're tied together because that's about the time that I died?
think so.
Like one goes, we all have to restart.
Maybe we're all supposed to die at the same time, kind of thing.
Oh, we were, yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if it's just a matter of trying to survive. Avoiding danger is not necessarily hard if we just don't follow, well, the bait.
I would agree with you, except for the thing that just showed up at my apartment randomly.
Well, that's because we were in the apartment where we're supposed to die in this building.
Right, but if we sort of extend that thought, they also found us at the coffee shop and at the warehouse.
They were following, but they didn't do anything. The coffee shop, they were lingering, but no one attacked in there. We didn't get attacked until... I'm not talking about you.
It's okay.
It's not until we got into that hatch that we got attacked by that gray thing. I don't even think counts. It's been there. It was at my last loop thing.
It was at the first one too.
And Tyson only vaguely remembers that one right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the only thing that's consistent, I have looped, then that little gray thing, Jack and Silas are repeats of things I've encountered, but people like Nora and Scarlett, Hanson, Mimi, they're not here, so they're not part of this.
Yet.
I don't know. Now, we know what, but we don't know why.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. The question we need to ask, though, is what do we think? How is it that we best survive? Because if it's do nothing and hide, then we should do that. If it's look for more answers, then we need to go to that girl.
Alice, do you have anything?
As in, I
wouldn't normally suspect anything of a person who texts a lot, but given the circumstances, who would be important enough to text now?
it was the guy that Tyson and I ran into in the sewers. It's a fan, but I don't know. Nothing is what it presents itself to be, apparently, like anything. So he one day was just a fanboy who was sending me DMs, and then just before, he knew where we were and what we were doing and who I was with, and said something about like just finding the phone. And you saw I threw my phone out the fucking window and then it showed up under the door. So whoever he is, obviously just a part of this whole thing.
I saw what he is. He is not human.
Tracks, but that's who is texting.
The guy we ran into, the junkie guy, Silas?
Yeah.
Wait. No, we were running. We were running after after I got put into the third floor. Silas got stitched, but I got pushed through the door. Does that mean Silas didn't make it? This doesn't make sense.
Tyson also knows that Silas was many things, but Silas was a man. This doesn't feel right. The person you saw in the subway was Silas, but this interaction. So where are you guys standing right now as you're having this conversation? Are you just like in the alleyway?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I think we're in the alleyway.
Then, as you're all sitting there, you look down the street and there's a park bench. There's somebody sitting in that park bench. Tyson and Alice, they look familiar. Their head is like slumped over.
Oh fuck, is it Silas?
It looks like Silas, but they're like slumped over in this park bench.
I'll start walking over against my better judgment.
Yeah.
You start walking over. As you get closer, doesn't really move. You can tell he's breathing. He's just looking down.
Do we know him?
Like, kind of go around to his front and see.
There is blood dripping down his nose to the ground in front of him. As Silas looks up, his eyes are gone. And you can hear him breathing. He pulls his hands from outside of his pockets as the fingertips have all been removed, as though bitten. But he's alive.
Is he talking or making these sounds?
He's just kind of heavily breathing. It seems that he was left on this bench, purposely alive.
Silas?
As he just looks up, goes to talk.
Is he missing his tongue?
Of course.
There is a sickening groan and cry and a wail that comes from deep within Silas as a black van pulls up behind you all.
Okay. How fast can I turn around and just throw salt in the air?
I mean, pretty fast. Salt hits the side of the van as the van door swings open, and two hooded gentlemen, one very old and familiar to Tyson, and one short, bitter looking, glaring at you, Tyson, as you hear a familiar raspy laugh as they reach to grab specifically you, Tyson.
Okay, first off, you said I kind of recognize them. Like, can I identify them as they're popping out the van?
You can try. Roll for it.
All right, because partially my question is also, do I recognize these hoods? Because these hoods
One of them is the same hood that Alice and you had seen in the subway, and Tyson, you saw this back at the manor.
That's what I thought. Okay. Observe
Jack,
a situation.
you did too. Yes.
That is 13 plus. Wait, let's observe is perception, which I don't have. All right. So that's going to be 13.
Okay.
Observe a situation.
Mm-hmm.
I need more, but that'll do, I guess.
One question, which is, I will allow you to ask about one of them.
I'm going to use specifically what is being hidden from me.
What is being hidden from you? Their identities.
Oh, much vague. Such wow.
That's rude.
What is being hidden from you is specifically their lower half of their faces.
Interesting. So that's actually that.
But you do hear a rasping, very familiar laugh.
Everybody laughs at Tyson though. Doesn't help.
Especially this person.
Who laughs at me a lot? Father laughs at me a lot. Oh, Father, no. Is he? Father's much taller, I would think.
It's not your father. This is a guy close in your own age. Really fucking hates you though. Almost as much as his mommy.
I'm gonna try to stab him. That's they're reaching for me? Wait, which one of them is reaching for me?
Both of them.
I'm stabbing. I believe I remember mine. Hold on.
I believe
yes. I'm stabbing Edmund.
Okay.
I don't care. Just full force stabbing.
Engage. Roll your roll. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. I don't care. The dice are nice to me. I have a -2, so that's an 18.
Use.
Double 10s. It knew I'm angry.
Yeah, so your blade sinks just under Edmund's rib cage as the mask falls down, revealing Edmund's face. There is a swipe of his hand to try to grab you, but you manage to duck out of the way. The older gentleman, the elder butler, swings past you and reaches to grab Silas.
Did this happen before the butler tried to grab Silas, like the stabbing and
it's
stuff?
like all happening at once. So like you do see in this instance, you see them reach out towards Tyson. Tyson's reaction time is where you have reaction time. So Alice and Fox, as Tyson is on target to completely shank the dog snot out of Edmund. What are you two doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to sort of spear the butler, which is ironic because I've done that before.
You have. Go ahead, roll for it.
God damn it, Edmund.
Oh, that is not good though, because I'm not Jack. That is a 5.
You go to spear him, and instead he grabs you and slings you back into the van, where your head hits the side of the van and you go hazy. He still manages to reach forward and goes to grab Silas. Alice, what are you doing?
I'm going to try and hit the guy reaching for Silas with my baseball bat that I've been having with me.
Tyson, your blade sinks. Fox, your head hits the metal of the van and your world goes hazy and dizzy. Alice, you whip out your bat as this older gentleman reaches to grab Silas again. Roll for
10.
10. Your arm swings down and you hear a crack as it hits him square in his elbow, and the arm falls limp at that point. However, as you're doing this, from behind you, you catch a knee to your lower back. And a cloaked figure is now standing over you. In this moment, Tyson, your blade sinks. You hear Edmund kind of reel from this. You look, you see Alice on the ground, having just got kneed in her sciatic nerve. Fox is in the van, just got rocked.
What do I see in the van?
You see in the back corner a very scared young woman in a black hoodie, mouth bound and gagged. You can see that she's been crying, just locking eyes with you. And you do see two other individuals. You cannot see them as they are like bags over their head, stuck in the back, and they seem to be unconscious. Muted?
Is it there's no seats, it's just like an open area van, you know what I'm talking about, like a cargo van? Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as I get my composure, depending on how long it takes, I'm going to try to exit out the back.
I will need you to roll to try to snap out of that. So let's make that we'll say with this one, this is essentially enduring you're enduring an injury.
Uh, 12.
12. Okay. Yeah, so it's gonna take you a minute. You go to get up, but you are kind of swaying. But with that, the back door slams in front of you as the person who just kneed Alice uses their leg to kick at least one of the two back doors shut. So it's kind of stifling you a bit. You're going to make your way. It's just taking you a second. Alice and Tyson.
Okay, so I would like to use my advantage for this scene. I'd like to use inner power.
Okay.
We roll for soul. That's going to be a 17.
Mm-hmm.
The power attacks all opponents in my vicinity, causing 2 harm.
Okay. So, Alice, you're standing there looking up at both this person hovering over you and at Tyson. As you watch Tyson, you see a familiar energy erupt from Tyson in front of you. His eyes glaze over dark black, like somebody else's, you know. You sense that same familiar feeling in Tyson that you have in a certain Samael. And you see this hatred wash over Tyson's face. And in that moment, there's an eruption of thunder. Edmund crumples to the ground as that wound bursts and it begins gushing. Edmund falls to the ground. The butler is knocked back, kicks Edmund out of the van, slams the door, and begins yelling at somebody in the driver's seat as the van takes off, swerving. Fox, act under pressure to see if you can manage to make it out of this van in time.
Why do I always end up in these situations? I'm sorry, you said it was act under pressure?
Yeah, because you're
14.
14.
Yeah.
You manage to make it to the door and jump. You trip over the young woman's leg and tumble and take 2 harm.
Oh, God.
As you look back at her, her locking eyes with you as the door is slammed from behind.
Hold on. So I couldn't get her out too.
No.
Well, then let me back up and retcon a little bit, because I don't want to jump if I can't get her out.
Okay. So you do not jump then. You see the van you realize the reason being is so she's clearly bound and the rope is tied to a bar on the side of the van. So
as soon as I would have seen that, the resolution would have been just to, okay, so this is what's happening.
The door, a very long elderly arm, the functional one, reaches and slams the door as you are met face to face with the butler. Elbow to the face. So you may, what Fox chooses to do in this instance is his own.
So if he hits me in the or elbows me to the face, I don't pass out, I'm going to just pretend that he knocked me out, and hopefully just sort of lay down and get him off of me.
So endure.
Yep, that's what it is. Ooh, that's good. Oh, sweet. 21. 2 10s.
21. Yep. Clear. I mean, it's a hard elbow, and you managed to just collapse.
Oh.
The young woman, her stark blue eyes peering at you, clearly like mascara running, crying, looking back over at you. As she gives up, you can see the look of surrender and just looks down at the floor. And the van drives. Tyson and Alice, you are now left there with a bleeding out Silas, whose breaths are becoming more and more shallow.
Is Edmund dead though?
Edmund is not quite completely dead, but is very dying.
Does he still have his tongue?
No.
Okay. I would like to apply pressure to the wound, however possible.
You would have to collect the innards and put them all back and hold.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, there's an
You
entire.
got any gummy bears or no?
I didn't bring the gummy bears, so I don't think I can take care of the wound.
No, he's slowly dying, as is Silas. It is about 12 o'clock.
I'm gonna try to. I have one question for Edmund before he dies. I'm trying to figure out how to word this yes or no question since he ain't got a tongue. Damn it, because people ain't got a tongue. It's hard to give him a question. All right. Leaning over Edmund, I will make the suffering end. Just answer me one question. Is this all? I'm gonna roll dice, see which I'm gonna go for this question. God, I don't like this. Is this all because of or for me?
Roll with your charisma. So this is influencing someone.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, I guess I'll roll that. That's a 12.
12. Locks eyes with you. Just smiles.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then spits blood in your face.
You kind of have to. That's the rules for those situations.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me roll for humanity real quick. I'm stabbing him in his eye.
He's dead.
Yeah. Just wanted to give him one last solid look.
Yep. Death. Alice, you can see Silas kind of starting to crumple over out of the bench. You can hear him like lowly sobbing and grabbing for something around his neck. As you see his hand grasp an old rosary.
She's really conflicted because, like, I don't know him, and it sucks. I guess I'll look at Tyson and be like, "Can you fix this or finish it, or one or the other?"
Tyson will head over to Silas.
Gummy bears. Sorry.
Yeah. Silas. Because he's still like alive.
Yeah.
He's definitely.
As you say that, Silas kind of like looks towards you, but
I'm also going to try to ask him one question. Of course, I'd also think of a yes or no because everybody got to get their tongues removed. All right, which question do I want to go for? Silas, were you supposed to catch, trap, or lure us somewhere? Or anything like that?
what'd you roll?
My influence, not that great. Plus 110.
You just see Silas start to shake his head and start to back away. But as he backs away, those last sparks of life slowly begin to fade. Still shallow breathing.
Do the merciful, just quick cut of life under the rib, just end the suffering for Silas as fast as possible.
Slice. Back in the van. Fox, you drive for a minute. You hear a cell phone ring. And someone says something, well, we're all fucked. He's dead. And Fox, you wake up in your bed. Tyson, you wake up in your bed. Alice, you wake up in your bed. And that's where we're going to take a quick 5 to 10 minute break. So we're going to take a quick 5 to 10 minute break, and then we will return with what the hellfire is going on, as they might have just discovered another piece to the puzzle. So we'll be back. Stick around with us. Don't go anywhere. So yeah. And welcome back. Tyson. The air conditioner kicks on. The mini blind string begins to tap, 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 tap.
Tyson does not care. Tyson immediately goes on the internet to double check something.
Okay.
Does
Enter
two
one.
searches specifically to confirm the funeral of Hanson,
Okay.
to make sure that that did happen,
Okay.
or if it happened. Googling Hanson funeral mansion. Enter.
As you enter this in, you see like one of the like rumor mag covers, and it's like Hanson family drama, divorce ensuing, Lady Scarlet gets nothing. All of this drama is currently unfolding.
No mention of Tyson.
There is like a mention of like secret love child possibly in the like it's the, you know, the drama,
The tabloid style.
It's all the drama. It's all rumors. He may or may not have 6 illegitimate children. It's like,
Yep.
it's that kind of thing. You know, you reading through there pick up on things that are true, and then some of it makes you laugh.
Okay. Second thing I need to Google.
Yes.
The yacht party that took place.
Mm-hmm.
Yacht party massacre. Enter.
A minor has been involved with a heinous crime. Though suspected of foul play and suspected of being responsible, no charges were brought to this minor, whose name is not being revealed for their own protection.
And definitively, the yacht party timeline happened prior to these articles involving the tabloid drama.
Yeah.
Detective Jack Graves.
There's like a Detective Jack Graves brings in random convict. Like it's super, like there's like 1 or 2 mentions of Jack Graves snags him again, but nothing crazy.
Is there any way to determine if he's still an actual detective on the force right now?
Yeah, I mean, you can, it's public record. You look, Jack Graves is still employed.
So he's still employed, but the funeral process stuff all happened.
The funeral has not happened.
The funeral hasn't happened. The divorce is happening, but Hanson is still declared alive right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson sprints.
It dawns on you. The only person that has spoken of that funeral is your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
No. Tyson immediately goes to Fox's apartment.
Sprinting up the stairs. All right. Fox?
We probably would have met in the hallway because as soon as I sat upright, I'm like, screw this. And I grab Onyx and I'm heading towards the door.
Yeah, which I was about to say, when you wake up, the cat is sleeping on your feet.
Dope. Just how I planned it.
Yep. Alice, as they are waking up and doing their thing, what does Alice do?
Wake up, grab all my shit as same as before. And I'm going to send a text to Samael that says, what do you need?
There's a hesitation. You get a response. Get him to the subway.
And I want to send another text. Says, I want my freedom.
You get a response. You know the deal. I need what's mine. You get a second response. You'll be free of suffering. But there is always a price.
Send another message. What if I don't bring him?
You get a response. Then I'll find someone else to play the game. And as you get that text and read it, you begin to hear screaming that only you can hear from upstairs.
Throw on my coat and start leaving.
Okay. Tyson and Fox, you meet halfway, just down the hall, by the way, from Alice's apartment.
Fox.
Yeah. What happened? What changed?
You got put in the van.
Yeah.
Was there anyone in there with you?
Yes. The hooded girl. That's why I stayed.
Did you get a glimpse of her face?
Just her eyes.
Just her eyes. She had blue eyes.
I'm calling my mom.
What are you doing?
I'm calling
Hello?
my mother. Mom?
Yeah?
Do you remember Hanson?
Yes,
Do you remember his funeral?
I do.
How long ago was that?
Like, probably a week? Are you okay? Hey, hang on. There's somebody at the door. Hang on just a second.
No, don't go to the door.
Just a second. And she sets the phone down. You can hear her walking to the front door.
Oh.
No.
Do not.
You hear the front door open. You hear a scuffle. You hear a familiar sound of your mother throwing a punch. More scuffle. A screech of something bestial. And then silence for only a moment. Before you begin to hear footsteps walking towards your phone. And in a distorted voice, you hear, "Just play." And then the footsteps turn away. You hear them walking, and you begin to hear the tearing of flesh.
Just gonna roll the people together.
Mm-hmm. Good call.
That is actually a 17, surprisingly.
Okay.
What was that?
The timeline, it's not making sense.
Between your other adventures?
Adventures.
This all takes place before. Hanson hasn't died yet, which means
He was the mansion.
He was the mansion, which means I never went to that funeral there, which means the circumstances that the asylum was after. That means this takes place before Hansen dies. Before it all began for me. I mean, if you don't count the yacht.
The yacht? What?
You both remember reading an article about a horrible yacht incident where 12 miners were slaughtered on a ship, and only one person survived.
That
Yes.
was okay.
Okay. Crash course. I was on a yacht. There were some bad things happening. I don't know if you've seen the shadow creatures, and one or me. It's hard to explain. Everyone died but me. And
On it
then
starts purring.
years later, I ended up having, well, Hansen was kind of like a stepfather, a father figure. He and my mom were never actually like married or anything, but you know, he was one of mom's friends, and he took care of me. And I ended up going to his funeral, in which I inherited everything. And then shortly after, I got escorted to an asylum. And after the asylum, I woke up in my apartment again before the funeral.
Well, maybe if I was writing a story, chronologically, that doesn't make a lot of sense. You would think seeing dark creatures and killing a yacht full of people would make you end up in an asylum, not going to a funeral.
Yeah.
So
in the mansion, I don't know if it's true, but there was a ceremony in which I might have been born in the mansion because of the cult that Edmund and that Butler's part of.
okay, but that's even before that. So you're born in a mansion. A couple years later, you have a yacht incident. You get thrown in an asylum based off of that yacht incident. Years after that, it would seem that you would then go to a man's funeral, but this happens right before that happens.
This happens before the funeral.
So maybe that's the crux. Maybe you can't die here then.
That means I don't know what happens after I inherit everything. I went to the asylum after the funeral, but if the funeral's the last step, if the funeral's after this, that's the last step before
The climax.
Alice comes out of her room down the hall. Alice, you lock eyes with Tyson and Fox, connecting dots. From behind Alice, a lurching, pale figure rises, turning the corner by the stairs.
How far away?
Right behind her, and she's at the other end of the hallway.
How behind her,
Alice,
like slowly or rushing at her?
It just appears quietly from behind her. Alice, you suddenly get a drop of liquid on your shoulder.
I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna say run, like shout run.
Alice, you hear Fox say run as you look up. That pale, slack-jawed, hunched creature with the drooping tongue, which is dragging the ground, is above you as it chomps down onto your shoulder, gripping you. And with that, let's go ahead roll to either avoid or endure. I will allow you to.
I will try to avoid.
You roll well.
13.
13. Okay. So you manage to duck out of the way of its bite as it closes right here. Its skull is almost the size of your torso, but its arms wrap around you and embrace you and pull you backwards and begins running with you down the stairs.
Tyson's gonna be a hero or attempt to follow.
Fox?
Yeah. I mean, I will, as soon as that happens, I'll take off at a run.
As y'all are running, Onyx is also just running with you, so you're aware that Onyx is like galloping. You guys run down the stairs. As you hit the stairwell, you can hear the front doors shatter. You manage to make it to the first floor and look through the shattered glass, and you see a long, white, pale, tendrily tail tucking down into the sewers.
I'm going to pause because that wasn't fun for me last time. And just kind of hesitate for a second and watch what Tyson's doing.
Tyson like pauses at the sewer entrance and just once again goes back to his mind. Okay. If everything happens as it's supposed to happen, I'm not supposed to die in that building. You are.
I'm already out.
But if Silas...
What about Alice?
This is the problem. Silas doesn't make it to the mansion. Jack does. Silas can't die before Jack. Jack has to see it. Jack has to see what happens. Because Jack has to be at the mansion. That's why this loop just started. But Alice was never mentioned by anyone. Alice is not connected to Eleonora. I don't know if we should follow.
Alice, as you're being pulled through the sewers, one of the nails jabs into your side. Just far enough to cause you horrific burning pain. As the nail pierces your skin, it feels acidic. Does Alice scream out in pain, or is she enduring in silence?
Probably based on my stats, I've probably been like screaming and cursing this whole time and trying to fight.
Yeah, so that is echoing up out of the manhole as you guys are sitting there. I will say you also know that Alice has not died yet in any scenario.
Oh, yeah. I don't have time to think about all that, though. We have to go after her. I can't let that thing.
What? Kill her? Start the loop over?
Yeah, it kind of sticks with you, though, man.
It just... Why do you exist?
I mean, now's not the time to get existential.
Now is the perfect time. I know why each person exists now. Each person is part of a very specific series of events to make sure the last step happens.
Okay.
Jack is with me at the mansion. Silas is the reason that Jack ends up going down the route that he goes.
So we're just orchestrators. We ensure that every step gets met. We're just doing it wrong?
What is your step? I know mine, then. I have to be at the funeral.
I've been asking that the whole time.
Fox. Roll 2d10. I'm going to offer you a hint.
Mhm. 18.
You haven't checked the mail today.
At the top of my priority list.
None of
Actually,
the scenarios have you checked the mail, which is what you usually do.
that's true. Okay. I don't know. I don't have your answer.
Okay. Do you know Jack the detective, Silas? Do you know a woman Mimi tries to describe as best. Anybody who works with Hanson? Antiquity collector and
As you describe Mimi, Fox, she's like a love interest in one of your books.
Which isn't the first. That's Jack was also.
Yes, so she's actually a love interest in one of your books. It's like, I think it's the title of the book is something like Picking Up Heat, and it's actually one of your early romance novels about a
Do
chef.
it for a paycheck, okay? It's fine.
Yep.
No big deal.
It was like an Amazon novel you wrote once upon a time, just trying to make that quick $1,000 on Amazon monthly, you know. Really cheap art on the front that's like clearly a free public license,
Sure.
like just picture of a person, you know, like you took it and typed in Times New Roman font your book title.
Yeah, I mean, I've written about some of these people before. Like, they're not real though. Well,
what? Edmund, Scarlet. Those names mean anything?
The names mean nothing to you.
yeah, I mean, and it wasn't. I mean, the person you just described wasn't called Mimi in my book either. The detective's name was Jack, but I think every detective's name is Jack. So I don't know.
Does your detective have kids in the book?
Yes.
Does his wife end up in an insane asylum?
Up to you.
No, not exactly.
Okay, so Jack has kids.
The only
Wife.
thing you remember from your book was that the children are placed like in a private school.
Yeah, they weren't raised by either one of the parents usually, because the mother wasn't really around too much in the Jack lost custody. So
Your stories between Mimi, Jack. That doesn't make sense. Because Mimi is one of the few people I depended on. Both at the mansion, she was a housekeeper who cared for me. And at the asylum, she was one of the few attendants that cared for me. She was a love interest in your earlier stories.
yeah, she had this stupid fling with a guy named Everett.
Your stories? No. I need to read. I need to know your stuff. Is it your stories? That doesn't make sense. Why?
Are you saying that the story?
Your phone goes off. You have a text message. Unknown number. There's a picture. Do you open it?
Yep.
Alice is in the subway. There's rebar through her shoulder. Ooh. You can see in the background the girl in the hoodie. But you see them all surrounded by these pale people. One of which looked very similar to the people you've recently faced in the van.
And just show it to Tyson.
I recognize in that group Edmund in any capacity.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
All fine and dandy.
Yep. You can see he's standing there with the knife, and there is blood on this knife, and you can see cuts on Alice. You do recognize that subway.
I killed Edmund, but he's there at the mansion. But we didn't loot, which means he's not necessary for whatever happens.
How did this loop start? You never did. I didn't start with me. I didn't die. I was in the van.
Silas, he was dying, suffering. I sped up the process.
But he can't die, apparently.
He needs to be there for when everything happens.
Jack needs to find him.
So while this conversation is going on, Alice, you're dragged through the sewers. You were slammed against a wall, feeling a searing hot pain through your shoulder. You do take 2 harm. People in cloaks surrounding you. Occasionally taking a cut at your skin, surface level only, just enough, paper cut, just to cause pain. Waiting seemingly just long enough before they take your phone. Hold it up, unlock it using your face, and send the pictures to the numbers that they somehow know. You can hear them muttering to each other in a language you do not understand. As you are sitting there and you look, there are 3 people currently present. Before 3 more people are brought into the room. 2 with a bag over their head and the other in a black hoodie. As all of these people are brought to the center of the room and forced on their knees, you can hear a couple of the people in cloaks muttering about, "It's not time." You do not see Silas at this moment. But they are strategically placing these 6 individuals. One of those pale creatures comes creeping out of the subway rail just next to you, puts its head just over your shoulder. Just remember you asked for this. Kind of begins to lean away, stops and jerks its head back quickly in an attempt to startle you, almost. "I personally can't wait to rip your flesh off." As it slinks back to the subway rail line behind you. And this is the time when you 2 receive the pictures. But Alice, as you are sitting there restrained, watching the room around you, is there anything you would like to do? You're not gagged, or you're just unable to move from your current spot.
Is there anybody who looks like they're the in charge, that they're running this outfit?
There seem to be a couple of cloaked individuals like bossing people around.
Yeah, I'll try and get their attention. Be like, hey, this wasn't the deal.
A shorter, squattier gentleman turns and looks at you and kind of gives you this raspy laugh. Just kind of waves his knife back at you again. Walks back over. Takes another slice at your arm and walks away. You can see the girl with the hoodie seemingly wriggling at her bindings.
Are they noticing her doing that, or are they pretty oblivious?
They seem pretty oblivious to what's currently going on as she looks over and locks eyes with you. Again, all you see are the blue eyes currently as the hoodie is like bound tight. She looks over at Edmund, who was just waving his knife. And you can see very clearly she's eyeballing that dagger.
Are she and I like near to each other, or is she like across from me?
She's like kind of across from you, probably like 15 to 20 feet away, but like there's like a sense of recognition of, oh, you're aware too.
I want to get Edmund's attention again. Just to get him to come over and talk to me again. Why don't you and I make a new deal then?
Edmund stops and turns and looks at you. Again, that raspy laugh begins to make his way towards you. His mouth begins to move as though he's talking, but nothing seems to come out. And you begin to hear a whisper from behind you. What kind of deal is that?
Why don't we make a deal where you send all your little underlings away and we can talk about maybe letting me go and you can have a new nice little pet for the rest of eternity, or however long this game goes on.
You begin to hear snickering from behind you as that pale creature creeps up from behind. And as Edmund's lips move, the voice comes from that pale creature. Are you really sure of what you're asking?
How far out of her ties is the black hoodie girl?
You can see that she's getting damn close, like just on the cusp. as Edmund and the creature seem to be somehow linked.
Then I'm going to kind of address the creature over my shoulder. Like, surely somebody of your stature and power could offer new and exciting experiences. To be honest, the whole flesh tearing thing is growing a little dull, so maybe you could show me more parts of this world.
Go ahead and roll using your ability. Tyson, I just thought you should know, and Jay Casual, that somebody else is seducing an eldritch entity in this game, and it is not you.
Which is acceptable. We'll just make it a party now.
That would be a 19.
This creature, like, its tongue drags down your arm as Edmund reaches down and unties your hands. The creature's arms grab your shoulders and pull you from the rebar. Just as the girl in the hoodie jumps up and runs towards Edmund, reaching for Edmund's dagger.
Can I like reach back and like jam my fingers or thumbs into the creature's eyes?
Absolutely. Roll for it.
We're about to wake up, aren't we?
And JK.
Ooh, 6.
6. Ooh-wee.
See you guys tomorrow morning.
You reach up and jam towards its eyes, but its mouth catches both of your hands.
Ugh.
It slings you up and back down into the ground. As you look up and you lock eyes with the girl in the hoodie, she has the dagger in hand. As she goes to reach for you, everything goes black. Tyson and Fox, you guys continue to have this conversation. Are you guys going in after her?
Late, I think, for that.
They're trying to threaten to her harm, to have us be there.
Right. Why would they keep her alive? Like, why stake her to the rebar?
Why do I need to go?
Hold on. And I am gonna run back inside. On my way in, I'll sort of shout over my shoulder. If it has something to do with my writing, maybe I've already talked about it. And I will go to my mailbox because I've actually just sent 3 like short synopsis to my editor for review. I don't have a perfect idea, so I've just sent him 3 basic ideas. So I will check my mailbox. I'll check the outgoing and ingoing.
Yeah, so you check your mail. You do actually have a letter from your editor saying they actually loved all 3 ideas. They have 2 specific publishing companies interested in 2 of them. The last one they're working on, but it's a good offer. They also mentioned to you in this letter, you actually have interest from the local newspaper. They've seen your writing style and are wondering if you would want to pick up and start writing for their tabloids.
Nothing here unless they want me to be a tabloid writer.
None of it makes sense.
Do you go in after, or are you waiting?
Tyson goes with Fox. Tyson's like, gotta make sure he sees when people die.
All right,
Okay.
so we know it's a trap, but we have to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Just doesn't make sense. Let's go.
I'm gonna look at Onyx before I climb down in there and be like, you've already done. Let's play nice this time. I'm not saying I'm not gonna die, but let's. Okay, all right. I'll just sort of put him up my shoulder as I climb down.
As you begin to climb down, you hear scuffling, like loud, horrible echoing through there. You hear Alice scream.
She's not far.
So Onyx, that's the cat's name. Like, Tyson is not rushing despite the sense of urgency that should be happening. Is Fox supposed to die in the building?
Wow. Purr.
But
As far as
am I
I can make
supposed
it,
to die in the
that means
building?
yes.
Wow.
I have to go to the subway.
Purr.
Does Fox have to be there too?
You begin to hear rapid footsteps down the subway. Like, down the subway, it sounds like suddenly somebody's entering the sewers.
From behind us?
From down where the scream came from.
Ah.
You can hear the slamming of a metal grate. You can hear a lot of ruckus, a lot of screaming from people. Eventually, down a long sewer shaft, you see a girl in a black hoodie dragging a half-conscious Alice.
It's you.
Frantically running towards you.
Is she alive?
Like, way down. Like, you could yell that.
I'm gonna take off, sort of towards her.
And you do see Alice, like, you are rocked. You do still have 3 harm, but it appears to be, like, stabilized as this girl is applying pressure to your shoulder and is taking you with her down the sewer. As you yell out, do you yell out, is she alive? You say this, Alice, like, and everything is a dizzy haze as you look up and you see Tyson and Fox. So you guys see Alice look up. She does not look great. You can see that her forearms are bloodied.
Now you, pointing at the woman. Who in the hell are you?
And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode of Far Realms. Please join us, not this coming Sunday, but the one afterwards, for the conclusion to this chapter, as we put a beautiful fuck-upped little bow as they finally place the last pieces of this current puzzle together. And they'll get answers, I so much promise. Also, y'all leaving Alice to die, y'all are bad people. But
Goes around, comes around.
I'd say y'all did that so far. So, but yeah, so please join us next time for the conclusion to this chapter of Far Realms. That will be March 27th, confirming. Yes, Sunday the 27th, we will conclude this chapter and this story arc. Thank you all so much for joining us. So real quick, rounding back to my beautiful, beautiful players, especially we're going to start with our special guest for this chapter because, oh my gosh, I love it. Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel Beauregard. I'm an actor and a nerd. You can find me on Instagram at Manic Pixie Tank Girl, and you can find my art at Bad Duck Design.
Hey. Okay, Roden. Don't forget Ecriom, damn it.
Hey, I'm mad. You can find me at Pissed Off. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding.
You guys got there. You did it. It's
true.
a good thing.
Yeah, I'm Ronan Fox. And aside from this game, I also play in Ecrium Expeditions every other Tuesday, which is this Tuesday. I play a wizard who also struggles with finding answers. So, I have a type. That's it. Jay left, by the way.
Hey. Jay?
What can I say? It's Jay. Casual. You come in all social media at Just Too Casual, wondering why we exist in this world, finding more questions to our questions. I'm also on the Ekrim expedition, so you'll see me there on Tuesday, being Corvus, the drow, parentheses, question mark, close parentheses, bringing light to the darkness using nothing but more darkness. But also, every Saturday over on the initiative order, that's here, you can see me telling the story of Nightfall, an anime adventure using my own Deep Breath RPG, the anime, manga, Japanese role-playing game inspired setting in which the world of magic meets the world of technology, in which they're all just crash landed from space after the moon decided to drop darkness on them and rain down terror upon the land. Casually, of course. So you can find out what happens with that this upcoming Saturday for Chapter 3. I'm also all over the place doing all kinds of things. If you want more information on that, you can also check out Deep Breath RPG on Twitter and Instagram. And you can also sign up for the email blast where we send out some adventure snippets and other things that you can only get if you subscribe on the website at deepbreathrpg.com. That's DEEP bread, THRPG.com.
And I am your keeper.
No one cares. I love you.
Yeah, you do. You fucking love me, bitch, boy. My name is Taryn Hackett, also known as Valrook across the socials. He actually loves me. He can't help it. So, but I am a generally creative human, TTRPG performer, and eldritch entity feeding on the suffering of my dearest friends. And a dice maker under the moniker of Umbral Oculus Dice. That is UO_dice on the Instagram. You can enter in code initiative there for 10% off full sets in my store. Do keep a tab open for like tomorrow and the next day because I'll be taking $15 off of all of those sets. So if you wait, $15 off of sets plus 10% off is lots of monies. I want them gone. So that's a thing. And of course, every other Tuesday over at the Red Hair Inn on the Ekram Expeditions, I play a completely opposite person to what I'm doing right now. I play a Simonin role, and she's a Hexblood Druid, and she found out she might be like 200 and something years old, and she doesn't know anything about herself, and everybody thinks she does. So that's the thing, and it's what I do when I'm not being an eldritch entity, confusing the dog snot out of my favorite people. But please join us. Again, on the 27th, we will conclude this chapter. Quick shout out to all of our amazing sponsors, Session Zero Clothing, Norse Foundry, Roaming Player Gear, and Mithril Armory. Again, thank you all so much for joining us. Please come back and watch their brains melt next time because I'm excited. And again, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night and sweet dreams.